Today on Drawbli,
We have 4 tips for easily drawing better portraits.
click that subscribe button if you're new around here.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
And share your work online with the hashtag Drawbli.
And tell me the first tip, Benjamin.
All right, so I'll be talking about these 4 beautiful tips that I have for you that you can easily use to improve your portraits today. These are things that you can implement right now. Super easy to do.
I'm so excited.
The first one is very applicable to what we're watching right now in this early stage of the sketch. It is move on.
Move on.
This is something we've been talking about a lot.
Okay.
Because in those early stages of working on something, there are so many times where you are fighting your drawing, you're fighting your portrait, and you so easily can just move on.
Sounds like my past relationships.
Wait, hold on. So, I think people should be more comfortable with not necessarily starting over from scratch, but like starting the same idea again. Because in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's not a huge amount of invested time where you can then spend hours fighting your painting when instead you could have just spent 5 minutes on another sketch and said, oh, wait, this one's turning out way better. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. The end result in the process to get there is going to be so much more enjoyable.
Oh, I like that. It's like trying to make yourself, like I've tried to be, a persistent runner and finding out, no, I don't like running. I like doing this other thing instead.
I like bouldering. I like rock climbing. That's where the fun is.
Moving on. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, I'm sorry. To our second tip here, which is going to be plan your area of focus early on.
Oh my gosh, that is something I would love to focus on this week. I've never done that ever once.
Never ever once?
I mean,
well,
I think there's been
it could be a huge benefit for you.
Really? Okay, tune in later to see me plan my area of focus early.
So essentially what we're talking about there is picking 1 to 3 focal points for your painting that are going to be the areas that you spend a lot more time on. Because you don't need to sit there and render everything to this extremely fine, detailed final result. You can maybe just work on your eyes, if that's often it is going to be your focal point, or maybe your lips are really expressive. They're doing like a huge frown.
Should my eyes and lips always be my focal point?
They often are because they're very expressive parts of the face, but they don't necessarily have to be. There's actually an artist, and I'm forgetting exactly which one it was, that we were looking at recently that really downplayed their eyes, if you remember. They
I think of him all the time.
They took away the saturation from the eyes almost entirely to where they blended in with the face. It's a really cool effect and extremely unique. I'll actually put the name of the artist up on screen right now, plus one of their artworks.
Cool.
Because I forget what their name is right now.
Me too.
So you've never done this ever, not once?
Subconsciously, probably.
Okay.
Probably if you see me draw one part of the image first, that's me subconsciously saying, oh, that's where the ear goes, and I like the ear to
I
be
like the
focused
ear.
on. But I don't know. I'll think more deeply about your tip here.
Okay. You think about that and come back to me. Because we're moving on to the third tip.
Oh my gosh.
Which is going to be focusing on values first. This is something that I think we learned pretty quickly, in our time working on portraits, that it is a lot to focus on when you are working on choosing the correct colors and choosing the correct level of saturation for those, hues. It's a lot. But when instead you just focus on values, and that doesn't necessarily mean only black and white. It could also mean picking your light color, picking your shadow color, and then just focusing on those two first. It's so much easier because it takes all the extra guesswork out of playing with all of that at once.
I think next time I do a portrait, maybe I'll try that. I'll start with just 2 base colors for the skin, a mid-tone and a shadow tone, draw the whole thing, and then add highlights.
That's what I did with this one.
Wow.
I had my shadow side of the face, my light side of the face, and then I started going in with the, a little bit of midtones, a little bit of rough highlights. It's all very sketchy right now, but I will refine it more. But that was my idea going in. I wanted to put these ideas into practice to show how they could be used.
I love that.
And you actually did it a lot on your last portrait. For those who haven't checked it out, you started in black and white and then you added color on top of that. Do you like that process?
I do, but I would love to be quicker, and being quicker sounds like starting with color a lot more soon in the process, a lot sooner in the process. So something I'd like to do is to be able to kind of translate that style into color from the get-go.
So like an alla prima style, or not necessarily alla prima where you're doing everything, on one layer really quick with, one brush. No erasing, no undos.
Maybe it's, instead of like black and white, I'm using, like peach and the shadow tone you have here to sketch. Although when you sketch, you only sketch using one color typically.
Ooh.
I'll return to this thought.
Oh, okay, yes, we'll think about this one more. We'll think about all of these more. That's, the point, to not necessarily agree with what we say right out of the gate.
I like this.
We're learning ourselves,
Yeah.
but more so to think about these critically and think about how you could or could, maybe not listen to us.
No. I think it's a really good point, and I'm going to use it.
Okay, well, I want your opinion on our fourth and maybe final tip, which is comparing with yourself instead of comparing with other artists. There are always going to be other artists that are better than you. I mean, it's just a simple fact.
Yes, it's so true.
But one thing that I did in a recent video, and something we're always doing here on Drawbli, is we are comparing with our past selves and seeing those micro improvements from day to day, sometimes not even seeing them at all, typically, but seeing those big improvements over long periods of time. And what I love about Drawbli is you can easily go to our channel, scroll all the way down, and click on those first few videos, or like our first few months of videos, and be like, holy crap, they've gotten so much better.
Oh
but
my
also,
gosh, yes.
how are they bad? How are they so bad?
How are they still so... Yes.
Well, but also, how are they still so bad? Yes. We have improved a lot since we started Drawbli. And that's the whole point of Drawbli, for us to learn how to draw and get better at it and have fun while doing it. So compare with yourself more often than not.
Yes, I agree. I did 3 portraits or so last week.
3 portraits in 1 week?
Maybe over like 2 weeks, I don't know. And it was really cool just to look back from the last portrait to the first portrait. And even there, over that short amount of time, there was changes.
Over 3 paintings? Really?
Yeah, also I was kind of getting in the zone.
Ooh,
I love
the
hair
zone.
here. Look at the hair there.
It's okay, I'll screw it up probably.
Oh, no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
All right. Our extra bonus tip at the end here is something that Abby has for us, because it's something that she thought about a lot during her last painting.
Yes, my thought is, it's your art. Do what you want.
Ooh.
Throw out all the rules, whatever rule, even if it's the biggest rule, if it doesn't apply to you in that moment, what the heck?
So you're saying all those 4 tips I gave are trash?
No.
So what do you mean by that? Like, do what you want. You're just saying like...
Well, hey, did you forget to add your focal point early? Add it late. Oops.
Who cares?
Yeah. Did you forget to work in values and emphasize those? Oops.
Screw it.
You try to add them later.
Are you going to repaint this entire eye from scratch?
Maybe.
You certainly did in your last painting.
Yes. Do whatever keeps you motivated and happy working on your art. If it's starting to feel anything other than that, well, maybe that's because you're working really hard, and that's its own conversation.
The dreaded burnout.
Yes. But yeah, do what makes you happy in art, because I think that goes a long way and will reflect itself in the art you create.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think at the end of the day, if you're learning how to draw, it should be enjoyable for you. Maybe your whole objective is to get a job or something, or get accepted to a specific school. In that case, yeah, there's going to be some hard, boring parts. But if you're just drawing for fun and you're not having fun, well, maybe you should rethink why you're drawing.
Yes, reevaluate some things, find the fun in it again, and get to there, because it's so satisfying once you do. Creating is such a human process and a very satisfying part of being a human, and I think everybody should have somewhere in their lives where they get to create and make things that they like.
All right, so here we are at the end, or mostly end, of my portrait. I tried to... There was so much here at the end where I was like, oh, there is some cool stuff working. I don't really know what else to do with this. How can I how can I improve this? How can I make this better? My main idea was contrast. So I was like, I'll just go in and like darken the shadows and create more color contrast.
That goes so far.
Is this anything?
Is this anything? Is this working?
I don't know. I don't know if it was working, but I enjoyed the shapes, like the light shapes on the face. I thought that was kind of fun. I went back in, if you're seeing the final image here, and you're like, oh, it looks a lot different. I did desaturate it quite a bit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was looking a little too saturated. I don't know if I went too far, but this is my final result.
I love this. I love the lighting. I love the hair, the brushwork on the hair. I love the eyes. I just love it all. It's such a cool piece. I love the light that you chose. The subject matter is excellent.
Well, if you also love it all and maybe enjoyed those tips and want to get some more in the future, or just watch us slowly, very slowly improve at drawing, click that subscribe button.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve.
Share your work online with #Drawbli.
And this is the part where we say goodbye.
Goomba.
Ben, there's a popular song that was popular at one point.
Alligator soup.
It's Your Golden Hour, or Golden Hour.
Oh.
And this would be a good cover for that song.
Ooh. Wait, what are you talking about? What song? Golden Hour?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Louis Zong song?
No. It's this big song. I don't even know if it's called Golden Hour.
No.
But it's Your Golden Hour. Haven't you heard it before?
I've never heard this song.
I'll play it for you later.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wow.